Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need. What you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic. Believe you could have it. And I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
Hey guys, how you going? Oh, what a drama I've had this week. Okay. Menacing Muskrat, how you going? Robin, how you going? Out to lunch. Xenotron. Who else? Alex. Who else have we got? Menacing Muskrat. Carl, how you going? Darren, how you going? And I think, is that it? MJ, how you going? And MM, how you going? Carl said, buttery hot potato. You're going to start with the food? Look at my hair. Oh, my God. It looks like I just got out of bed. I didn't. Oh, okay. What's going on? Okay, what's going on this week? There's a lot going on this week, actually. You've got a Trump-hating judge that's been busted on J6 appeal. What else have we got? I'm having a really relaxed day, in case you can't tell. Bud Light trans debacle gets worse. Apparently. Bud Light and the company that makes them are getting boycotted by everyone for putting Dylan on the can. And not only them, who is it? Jack Daniels is in trouble and Nike's in trouble. Why is Jack Daniels in trouble? They sponsor RuPaul's Drag Race show. And that lady swimmer who stuck up for women has been attacked by trans people. And Nike trans boycott gets worse as they attack their own customers. Oh, it's all going on. Don Lemon cries racism over black Democrats expelled by Tennessee government. Musicians are boycotting Bud Light over Dylan Mulvaney's sponsorship. I've got more on saved in bookmarks, but I'm just reading the top news for today. Police stopped another trans male from a plot against a school. Ukraine war plans have been leaked and details look pretty bad. Leonardo DiCaprio exposed $30 million in Obama money. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the swimmer's name is Riley Gaines. Oh, Chicago's elected an even more far left mayor instead of Lori Lightfoot. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, that's it for just going through my YouTube feed. Oh, how you going, Randy Dealey? How you going? Mrs. Out to Lunch, how you going? Okay. How am I? I got another strike on YouTube. 2 weeks I can't do anything on the other channel for. I'm pretty sure that that's going to go anyway. And this will be the main channel again now after God knows. I'm sure they're just waiting to pounce on me right near the end and say your channel's gone. But I'll be doing it over here. This channel won't be monetized without giving myself away. Okay. I could probably do it through Streamlab, but yeah, I'm on a strike right now. Great YouTube. I even got on Twitter and had a rant, and they answered me. I didn't think they would. And I asked them if there was any intelligence working there. Oh, my goodness. And I called them unintelligent. And they looked at my video. It was a really old one too. They looked at my video and said, no, it still stands. That's probably because I went off at them anyway. But and I think my channel will be deleted not long after that for having a go at YouTube. Clandestine said there's a global coordinated effort to erase all traditional values, destroy the nuclear family, dehumanize the individual, make every citizen dependent and submissive to the state. If humanity is to prosper, these people and their ideology must be eliminated. And I had to share all these all week because I couldn't get on and tell you about it, so I shared it through Twitter. Bernie's tweet said, France, protesters outside the head office of BlackRock in Paris. Still think this is only about pension reforms? It isn't. This is about Macron ignoring the people and the influence of global policies on a nation who didn't vote for them. So there you go. France is going off. And this morning I seen an Instagram influencer taking photos in front of the fire like this model girl, you know, she's doing all the... Oh, you can't see the screen. That would help. Truth Ninja said, no lesbian is dating a woman with a penis. No gay man is dating a man with a vagina. And no, not even homosexuals truly accept this. Really. If you think about it, lesbians don't want a man or they wouldn't be lesbians. Gay men don't want a woman or they wouldn't be gay. It's not so hard to understand. But anyway, Tim Young said there it is. The government admitted they had at least 40 undercover officers involved in January 6. Julie Kelly said new bombshell filing in Proud Boys trial. Defence writes that DOJ just recently disclosed involvement of undercover officers, informants from other agencies aside from the FBI and DC Metro Police and the DHS. At least 40 undercover informants. Okay? It's falling apart on them, guys. It really is. I mean, therefore I am, said this is Caroline Biden, the niece of our president. According to Caroline's father, Jimmy, Joe Biden believes that Caroline has the most raw talent of any of us in the Biden family. If you are not following Marco Polo, you should. You'll find treasures that the media and this regime doesn't want you to see. She said she's the only sober person in the family. She doesn't look like it. I don't know. Katie said, in Melbourne for a family wedding, chatting to my Labor voting daughter. She's still gorgeous, from Parramatta, who tells me that all the Indigenous folks she's been talking to say they don't want the voice as it won't help them one jot. They feel it's for the elites. So she's no, vote no, Australia. Well done. That's what you just got to do, talk to people. if they allow you. Or just don't talk to them. 40 Heads said it's important that we're seeing a local state prosecutor go after Donald Trump. If it was a federal prosecutor later when Dems are arrested by states, the left would scream, only feds can arrest. But now the precedent of a state ability to arrest has also been set. They've set the standard. It's going to come around and bite them on the ass. Emily said, pedos are everywhere. We're not going to normalise this stuff while I'm on Earth. It ain't happening. And we'll never stop fighting for children ever. Okay, let's listen to this. What's this?
So this very brave man called out what absolutely everybody should when he saw something at an art exhibit in Paris.
This is John Lockland. I'm the director of FVD International. I'm speaking to you from the Palais de Tokyo in Paris. Behind me you can see an exhibition space. I'm not allowed to film in there. I started to film and the guards told me I had to stop. The reason is that there's a painting in there which shows two children with their hands tied behind their backs being forced to perform oral sex on a grown man. It's an example of the banalization of paedophilia. The French judicial authorities have recently said that this painting should stay, even though an appeal was made against the museum by an organization defending the rights of children. In the name of free expression, therefore, something is now hanging in the public space in Paris, which is designed to banalize the worst forms of sadistic paedophile pornography. FVD demands that this stop, both in the Netherlands, both in France, and indeed all across the world.
Art News did a piece about this whole controversy. Oh yeah, and as you would guess it, we misconstrued it. Things that we can see with our own two eyes of horrific things happening to, it's misconstrued. There were little people in that painting, and the artist had to give a statement saying these are not children. The painting deals with how sexuality is being used as a weapon in war, and basically this was supposed to depict something going on in Ukraine. So kids go on a field trip, they see these horrific depictions of what's going on without their parents there. How exactly do you explain all this to them? Interesting
and sick. Why would they be showing, see, people say, oh, it's just art. No, it's not. There's an agenda behind it. Savannah Hernandez says the trans community will continue to own themselves and it will be glorious to watch every time. No, I don't have compassion for men who make a mockery of womanhood and try to impede on women's safety and privacy. We've moved past being inclusive. Women are at risk because, why? Because we've allowed men like the one below to enter our spaces, target our children and push a false and dangerous agenda. Oh, this was Matt Walsh. I said I wasn't going to do this, but anyway, I'm sick of these trans people anyway.
How would you define a woman? Because you've asked other people up here to define how we would define a woman. How would you define a woman, Mr. Walsh?
An adult human female.
And how don't trans people, how doesn't a transgender woman fit that definition?
Female. Because they're not female. They have, you said that you are a biological male, correct?
I said I'm transgender. I might be intersex for all we know. About almost as many people in the world are transgender as intersex. And
well,
a lot of people don't know.
Well, but that's a different conversation. Intersex, that's a genetic anomaly. That's a medical condition. So that's a completely different conversation. That's also not a third gender. That's a genetic anomaly that occurs within the sex binary of male and female. What you're saying is that a quote unquote trans woman is a female.
By the definitions I'm familiar with, yes.
So how would you define female?
Through my training in healthcare, there are several different categories for how we define sex. People bring up chromosomes. People also bring up hormone levels. People bring up all sorts of other categories. Lots of people don't fit neatly into a gender binary, even people we don't consider to be intersex. It's a complicated spectrum.
It's not complicated, but you also didn't define. So what is a woman? What is a female? What do these words mean?
It's complicated, and I know you're not going to like that answer, but that's because there are no simple answers in human biology.
Let me ask you a question.
You guys,
Can I ask you one last
hang
question?
on. Just let me finish. You guys like to bring up high school level biology classes a lot. I get that a lot, but people who go on to more complicated biology classes will talk about sex as a spectrum.
It's not. It's not.
Well, biological researchers would disagree with you.
Well, then they're full of shit, the ones that would say that. There are
All right.
There are male gametes and female gametes. Oh, I had one last question. I just had one. I had one quick. Can you come back for 1 second? Because this is an important question. You said you're an EMT.
Yes.
Okay, if you're responding to a health emergency. Biological male, somebody with a penis, is having a medical emergency, and they say to you, "I think I'm having a miscarriage." Would you check them to see if they're having a miscarriage? Would you consider that a possibility for them?
Look. No, but that's because some people don't have body parts. Doesn't mean they're not a woman.
Okay. Sounds like we've established there are some people who, in principle, can get pregnant, and there are some people who can't. So there's two categories, otherwise known as binary.
Lots of women can't get pregnant either.
Yeah, but they're still of the nature to get pregnant. The only
But
reason
they can't get pregnant.
Yes, but
truth matters, right?
It does. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Truth matters, and they can't get pregnant. That's the truth. So how are they still women?
Because they are for the same reason that I can rightly say that human beings have two legs. And if a person is born with only one leg, that doesn't call into question the statement that human beings have two legs, okay? A person being born with one leg doesn't mean that now legs are on a spectrum and we can't say anything at all about how many legs a person has. Who knows? They could be a centipede. You know, they could have 100 legs. No, we know human beings have two legs. If a human is born without two legs, something went wrong. They were supposed to have that second leg. Something went wrong. If you meet a person on the street who only has one leg, maybe they had an accident. Maybe they were in war. Maybe something, maybe they were in a car accident. Maybe they had cancer. A leg was cut off. But you know that something went wrong because by their nature, they're supposed to have two legs. Same thing for a woman. A woman by her nature can get pregnant. A man by his nature never can. So if you meet a woman of childbearing age, say she's 28 years old, and she can't get pregnant, you know automatically that something has gone wrong. And she can go to the doctor and find out what that thing is, even if they can't fix it. So that proves that women by their nature can get pregnant, because the simple fact that she can't shows you that there's something wrong. This is what is known as the exception that proves the rule. Whereas if a male with a penis can't get pregnant, no doctor on earth is going to run tests to see what's wrong with him, because they already know it's that he's a male, and there's only male and female, those who can get pregnant and those who can't. So that's it.
Oh, I agree with him. And it's funny trying to listen to people explain their side and not make any sense. Awakened Outlaw said this is a glorious move. By running as a Dem, he'll force the other candidates to talk about things they'd rather avoid. This would include all things to do with the coof and the jab related. I can't imagine any other Democrat running is thrilled about this news, because RFK Jr. files to run for president as a Democrat. Infiltrate them back. Free Spirit Australia said Aboriginal Muslim. Where is this going next? Senator Penny Wong said a special moment. This is our infiltrator into Australian government. Welcoming Australia's Ambassador for First Nations People, Justin Muhammad. Mr. Muhammad will lead the Office of First Nations Engagement in DFAT. For the first time, Australia now has dedicated Indigenous representation in our international engagement. How? Oh, that one's left me a bit speechless. Oh, I'm not going to play the. Oh, there's Nancy and Hillary. Oh, my God. Liz Churchill said Judge Napolitano has stated, according to high-level Democrat operatives, that Hillary Clinton is targeting Trump in an effort to be on the ballot with Biden, where he'll step down soon after. 2 days ago, Pelosi called Clinton Mrs. President. However, she was likely drunk. Let's have a little listen. Oh, do we have to?
Where we see it most clearly, there is a concerted effort to undermine some of the very foundations of democratic governance, of a democratic society. And there's research, some of it done by CEPA and this university, showing that half the world's democracies are backsliding. And that includes, sadly, the United States. So what do
the U.S. is not a democracy, it's a republic. Hello.
You, Nancy, view as the biggest threats and challenges facing our democracy? And what are the opportunities to try to stop that backsliding and turn it around?
Well, I appreciate that question, but I also appreciate your leadership in this regard. When President, I hope, when Secretary Clinton was in the Senate and First Lady, but especially as Secretary of State in more recent time, she has been, and at that time implemented many things showing America's support for democracy.
I don't know what she's doing with her hands there, but anyway. I like making fun of them. Malcolm Roberts said, as we warned, and just before a major holiday, so people quickly forget, Robert F. Kennedy said the Fed announced it will introduce its FedNow central bank digital currency in July. The CBDCs grease the slippery slope to financial slavery and political tyranny. While cash transactions are anonymous, a CBDC will allow the government to surveil all your private financial affairs. The central bank will have the power to enforce dollar limits on your transactions, restricting where you can send money, where you can spend it, and when money expires. A CBDC tied to a digital ID social credit score will allow the government to freeze your assets or limit your spending to approve vendors if you fail to comply with arbitrary diktats, i.e., jab mandates. The Fed will initially limit its CBDC to interbank transactions, but we should not be blind to the obvious danger that this is the first step in banning and seizing Bitcoin as the Treasury did with gold 90 years ago. Today, in 1933, watch as governments, which never let a good crisis go to waste, use the coup and the banking crisis to usher in a new wave of CBDCs as safe haven from germ-laden paper currencies or as protection against bank runs. So there you go with that one. In Australia, the banks are already, more than one now, are starting to not give cash out. Vanessa Beeley said Emmanuel Macron arrived in China for a 3-day visit. No welcome. The Chinese president was absent. Not a single official to welcome him. Macron could only shake hands with the guy who opened the door of the airplane. What a humiliation. Can't even see him clearly. It's all blurry. Why? With today's technology, can we not see anything clearly? Anywho, that's what you've got apparently. Okay. And what did these people say? It's not protocol for the president of China to meet visitors at the airport. The ceremony occurs at the East Court of the Great Hall of the People on Tiananmen Square in Beijing. Who knows? George Papadopoulos said very bad news for Alvin Bragg as Bragg's team goes into damage control mode. After what? After Trump court appearance. Oh, they wanted Trump, they wanted to be able to go in or drag him out in handcuffs and arrest him and have him fight and They wanted that so bad. The media, mainstream media, and the Democrats. The swamp is deep, says George Papadopoulos. Yep, very deep. Australia's like the whole thing's a swamp. Maureen says, "G'day." Said one flag, one nation, one people. Angry Aussie loves Australia said, "A no and just the real flag made my day," because Peter Dutton apparently said no to the Voice in Parliament. Finally, Liberal. And he had the Australian flag behind him and not those other two flags, which I found out, I think one is Torres Strait Islander or something. Liz Crogan said, as the deep state has had the sheet distracted with Trump's indictment, Leonardo DiCaprio testified Monday in a trial against Fugees rapper accused of illegally funneling $30 million to Obama's campaign. Well, it wouldn't be the Lauryn Hill, because they put her in a mental hospital after speaking some truth years ago. Last week, the plaintiff in Gwyneth Paltrow's ski crash trial ranted about people not being held accountable for molesting children on an island in reference to Jeffrey Epstein Associates. It's interesting how exposure of real crimes are happening at other trials involving A-list celebrities. So you got this one. Leonardo DiCaprio testifies. And Gwyneth Paltrow is compared to Jeffrey Epstein by a retired doctor suing her over ski crash and bizarre rant about molesting children on an island. Was it bizarre? Was she there? Who knows? Proud Elephant said Nancy Pelosi was just called a sad old drunk and a war criminal at an NYC event. Karma. And I watched this video. Oh, it was funny. One person stood up, and when he got dragged out, another person stood up and kept it going, and it continued for a little while, a few minutes. Hassan Murphy said 13 years ago today, Julian Assange published the collateral murder video showing US forces massacring Iraqi civilians in cold blood. He exposed the US's war crimes, yet the very war criminals he exposed are free and he is in prison. What a world we live in. The guy's son holds a picture of his late father. Oh, wasn't meant to do that. Okay. Most of us know what happened. I hope most of us know what happened here. Well, this was the drone strike, the Obama drone strike, wasn't it? Or was it? Liz Churchill said there will be a revolution like the world has never seen when Obama steals another election where Joe Biden will magically receive over 100 million votes for 2024. We have put together, and you did this for President Obama, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud. Listen to him. He says it, okay? Listen to this.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where
he's telling everyone exactly what they're doing. I don't know how many people are paying attention, but he just told us. Truth Ninja said, well, there you have it, folks. Handpicked Joe Biden prosecutor Matthew Colangelo's wife, Ann Small, sits on the NAACP Legal Defense Fund Board of Directors with Jonathan Soros. This is an unfair and disgusting perversion of justice. So that, yeah, the ones who are taking Trump to court, I believe. Don Lucre, I don't know how to say that, breaker of narratives, said, I actually shed a tear watching this video. That never happened before. We've been fighting for so long. I've been here since the start. We've been at war, and I'm so proud of you all that stayed in the fight. We are worldwide now. Okay, I'll have to turn the music down, I think. Oh. Great Britain, Hong Kong. These are all people supporting Trump. Nigeria, Korea, India, Israel, Chinese. There's an Australian here. There's a few Australians that support him too. So there you go. People from all over the world support him. What's it called? Oh my goodness. Top Her Town Music? I don't know where to break that one up. Rep Jim Jordan said, was the Biden White House in communication with Bragg's office about a possible indictment? And if so, is that why President Biden is refusing to comment on the matter? Now, this was April 6th. It's now April 8th. So it was from 2 days ago. Nick Holt said Howard banned guns and supported Bush and Blair's war of terror. He was a disaster. Not sure why LNP sycophants continue to lean on him for wisdom. Yeah, I don't know why anyone looks up to John Howard. He was one of the bigger sellouts. Antonio Sabato Jr. said the president of El Salvador speaking the truth. The president of El Salvador putting Joe Biden on blast on Twitter. The most powerful country in the world is falling so fast that it makes you rethink what are the real reasons. Something so big and powerful can't be destroyed so quickly unless the enemy comes from within, which we are all seeing right now. Paul Kikos said, I think the conspiracy theorists are crazy. Well, you better start listening to us now. Hang on, where's the...
We are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one. And the new accounting is what we call blockchain. It means digital. It means having a almost perfect record of every single transaction that happens in the economy, which will give us far greater clarity over what's going on. It also raises huge dangers in terms of the balance of power between states and citizens. In my opinion, we're going to need a digital constitution of human rights if we're going to have digital money. But also, this new money will be sovereign in nature. Most people think that digital money is crypto and private, but what I see are superpowers introducing digital currency. The Chinese were the first. The US is on the brink, I think, of moving in the same direction. The Europeans have committed to that as well. And the question is, will that new system of digital money and digital accounting accommodate the competing needs of the citizens of all these locations so that every human being has a chance to have a better life? Because that's the only measure of whether a world order really serves.
Yeah, it won't be a better life. It'll be better for them, but not us. It's designed that way. Elaine said, watch why Barack Obama will go down in history as one of the biggest terrorists. What's going on?
Barack Obama was not a departure from George Bush. He was a continuation of George Bush. He took us from 2 wars to 7 wars.
Hang on, I'll start that again.
Barack Obama was not a departure from George Bush. He was a continuation of George Bush. He took us from 2 wars to 7 wars. He kicked 5.1 million families out of their homes while he made sure the bankers didn't miss their bonuses. He deported twice as many Hispanics as Donald Trump. He built those cages that put those people in. He dropped 26,000 bombs. The Air Force ran out of bombs. That's a fact. They ran out of bombs. He dropped so many bombs. He did a drone program that killed 90% innocent people. You know, if somebody walks into a mall and shoots 15 people down with this gun, that's the biggest thing. Oh my God. Barack Obama was doing that on a daily basis, killing women and children.
Oh, there you go. I'll probably leave that there. Well, it was only 37. I think that was most of it anyway. 37 seconds long. The Cooker King said it the way it should be. See this, Albo MP? None of your ass-kissing workness here. Just one flag, as it effing should be. Australia, vote no. And there you go. There was Peter Dutton, the guy who said no to The Voice, finally, from the Liberal side. And all he's got is the Australian flag there. That's all that should be there. Mischief said the real insurrectionists are the Democrat Party and mainstream media. Where was the DOJ? What was going on?
Throw a punch.
You get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them that they get up and please get up in the face of some Congress people.
We go low, we kick. That's what this new Democratic Party is about.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And they're not.
Just for anyone who thinks Johnny Depp's still good, he threatened.
This is a movement, I'm telling you. They're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before election day.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country.
They'll show up. You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Is fight in Congress, fight in the courts, fight in the street.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Punch some people in the face.
People do want to see us be stronger and more forceful and to confront them on these policies.
Fortunate enough to win back the House and or the Senate, that's when civility can start again.
Yeah, they're holding you hostage right now. Razorback posted this. It takes balls to pretend to be a woman. This is Dylan. And this is I think the Nike outfit that he's trying to sell, which doesn't show you how a woman sits in that outfit at all. And also, the reason I showed this is because, does anyone think he's had surgery? Really? I don't see much of the body surgery. Make believe. Michael Schellenberger said there's a pattern. Those urging censorship of misinformation are spreading it. Those who condemn extremism demand extreme policies, and those who denounce hate are filled with loathing for their political enemies. Jacinda Ardern to begin new role combating online extremism, apparently. Jacinda Ardern, people who are jabbed won't get sick and won't die. Yeah, that was her. Talking about this. And she also labelled anti-jab mandate protests imported. She's an idiot. They all are. New Zealand PM imposed the most extreme and unpopular policies in the world. Zero COVID, outdoor masking and vaccine passports. Forced out of politics, she's now going to demand the censorship of her political enemies online. Ardern smeared protesters as imported and thus not legitimate, a classic disinformation tactic. In fact, Ardern is a tool of foreign elites, including the biggest Malthusian creep of them all, Klaus Schwab, and much of her own support came from expats who no longer live in New Zealand. Ardern's UN speech last year, she made the case for the same kind of government control of the internet through the private sector to reduce harm and extremism that we've seen promoted by former CIA fellow Renee DiResta and other censorship industry leaders. I don't even want to listen to her. I can't stand her. It's now obvious that elites are waging an influence operation aimed not just at controlling what information we're allowed to receive, but also how to perceive it. It's all done so in the name of preventing harm. This is like the prosecution of pre-crime in Minority Report. Governments are funding third-party contractors, example think tanks, to smear their enemies as conspiracy theorists who are spreading hate and real-world harms so that they can censor and discredit them. This is already happening in the US, UK, and Canada. And Australia, I believe. He also said the best overview of the creeping totalitarianism advocated for by WEF Ardern, Trudeau et al. Is by Jacob Segel Tablet Mag, a guide to understanding the hoax of the centuries. Hoax of the century. Centuries? How many centuries are we living in? Well, we've gone through two, actually. If you're older than 23. News said a guide. Okay, let's see what this is. Prologue: The Information War. In 1950, Senator Joseph McCarthy claimed that he has proof of a communist spy ring operating inside the government. Overnight, the explosive accusations blew up in the national press, but the details kept changing. Initially, McCarthy said he had a list with names of 205 communists in the State Department. The next day, he revised it to 57. Since he kept the list a secret, the inconsistencies were beside the point. The point was the power of the accusation, which made McCarthy's name synonymous with the politics of the era. For more than half a century, McCarthyism stood as a defining chapter in the worldview of American liberals, a warning about the dangerous allure of blacklists, witch hunts, and demagogues. Until 2017, that is, when another list of alleged Russian agents roiled the American press and political class, a new outfit called Hamilton 68 claimed to have discovered hundreds of Russian-affiliated accounts that had infiltrated Twitter to sow chaos and help Donald Trump win the election. Russia stood accused of hacking social media platforms, the new centres of power, and using them to covertly direct events inside the United States. None of it was true. After reviewing Hamilton 68's secret list, Twitter safety officer Yoel Roth privately admitted that his company was allowing real people to be unilaterally labelled Russian stooges without evidence or recourse. The Hamilton 68 episode played out as nearly shot-for-shot remake of the McCarthy affair, with one important difference. McCarthy faced some resistance from leading journalists as well as from the US intelligence agencies and his fellow members of Congress. In our time, those same groups lined up to support the new secret lists and attack anyone who questioned them. When proof emerged earlier this year that the Hamilton 68 was a high-level hoax perpetrated against the American people, it was met with a great wall of silence in the national press. The disinterest was so profound it suggested a matter of principle rather than convenience for the standard bearers of American liberalism, who had lost faith in the promise of freedom and embraced a new ideal. In his last days in office, President Barack Obama made the decision to set the country on a new course. On December the 23rd, 2016, he signed into law the Countering Foreign Propaganda and Disinformation Act, which used the language of defending the homeland to launch an open-ended offensive information war. It sounds like the propaganda, and he also signed that changed the Smith-Mundt Act in 2008, I think it was. Could have been 2010. Something in the looming spectre of Donald Trump and the populist movements of 2016 reawakened sleeping monsters in the West. Disinformation, half-forgotten relic of the Cold War, was newly spoken of as urgent existential threat. Russia was said to have exploited the vulnerabilities of the open internet to bypass US strategic defenses by infiltrating private citizens' phones and laptops. Apparently, I was one of the Russian disinfo agents at the time too. Don't know how, I don't know any Russian people. But anyway, the Kremlin's endgame was to colonize the minds of its target, a tactic cyber warfare specialists called cognitive hacking. Defeating this spectre was treated as a matter of national survival. The US is losing at influence warfare, warned a December 2016 article in the defense industry journal Defense One. The article quoted two government insiders arguing that laws written to protect US citizens from state spying were jeopardizing national security. Of course they would. They want to be able to spy on everyone. According to Rand Waltzman, a former program manager at the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, America's adversaries enjoyed a significant advantage as the result of legal and organizational constraints that we are subjected to and they are not. Sounds like an excuse to spy on everyone, don't you think? The point was echoed by Michael Lumpkin, who headed the State Department's Global Engagement Center, a GEC, the agency Obama designated to run the US counter-disinformation campaign. Lumpkin singled out the Privacy Act of 1974, a post-Watergate law protecting US citizens from having their data collected by the government as antiquated. The 1974 Act was created to make sure that we aren't collecting data on US citizens. Well, by definition, the World Wide Web is worldwide. There is no passport that goes with it. If it's a Tunisian citizen in the United States or a US citizen in Tunisia, I don't have the ability to discern that. If I had more ability to work with that personally identifiable information and had access, I could do more targeting more definitively to make sure I could hit the right message to the right audience at the right time. In other words, propaganda. The message from the US defense establishment was clear: to win the information war and existential conflict taking place in the borderless dimensions of cyberspace, the government needed to dispense with outdated legal distinctions between foreign terrorists and American citizens. So it was pretty much anyone who supported Donald Trump. In 2016, the federal government has spent billions of dollars on turning the counter-disinformation complex into one of the most powerful forces in the modern world, a sprawling leviathan with tentacles reaching into both the public and private sector, which the government uses to direct the whole of society. Effort that aims to seize control over the internet and achieve nothing less than the eradication of human error. Step 1 in the national mobilization to defeat disinfo fused the US national security infrastructure with the social media platforms where the war was being fought. The government's lead counter-disinformation agency, the GEC, declared that its mission entailed seeking out and engaging the best talent within the technology sector. To that end, the government started deputizing tech executives as de facto wartime information commissioners. At companies like Facebook, Twitter, Google, and Amazon, the upper management levels had always included veterans of the national security establishment, but with the new alliance between US national security and social media, the former spooks and intelligence agency officials grew into a dominant bloc inside those companies. What had been a career ladder by which people stepped up from their government experience to reach private tech sector jobs turned into an Ouroboros that molded the two together. With the DC Silicon Valley fusion, the federal bureaucracies could rely on informal social connections to push their agenda inside the tech companies. In the fall of 2017, the FBI opened its Foreign Influence Task Force for the express purpose of monitoring social media to flag accounts trying to discredit US individuals and institutions. The Department of Homeland Security took on a similar role. At around the same time, Hamilton 68 blew up publicly. Twitter's algorithms turned the Russian influence exposing dashboard into a major news story. Behind the scenes, Twitter executives quickly figured out that it was a scam. When Twitter reverse engineered the secret list, it found, according to the journalist Matt Taibbi, that instead of tracking how Russia influenced Americans' attitudes, Hamilton 68 simply collected a handful of mostly real, mostly American accounts and described their organic conversations as Russian scheming. The discovery prompted Twitter's head of trust and safety, Yoel Roth, to suggest in an October 2017 email that the company takes action to expose the hoax and call this out on the BS that it is. In the end, neither Roth nor anyone else said a word. Instead, they let a purveyor of industrial-grade BS, the old-fashioned term for disinformation, continue dumping its contents directly into the news stream. It was not enough for a few powerful agencies to combat disinformation. The strategy of national mobilization called for not only whole of government, but also whole of society approach. According to a document released by the GEC in 2018, to counter propaganda and disinformation, the agency stated, will require leveraging expertise from across government, tech and marketing sectors, academia and NGOs. Okay, so it's gone across everywhere. This is how the government-created war against disinformation became the great moral crusade of its time. CIA officers at Langley came to share a cause with hip young journalists in Brooklyn, progressive non-profits in DC. George Soros funded think tanks in Prague, racial equity consultants, private equity consultants, tech company staffers in Silicon Valley, Ivy League researchers, and failed British royals. Never Trump Republicans joined forces with the Democratic National Committee, which declared online disinformation a whole-of-society problem that requires a whole-of-society response. Even trenchant critics of the phenomenon, including Taibbi and the Columbia Journalism Review's Jeff Girth, who recently published a dissection of the press's role in promoting false Trump-Russia collusion claims, have focused on the media's failures, a framing largely shared by conservative publications. Hello, Mr. Smiggles, which treat disinformation as an issue of partisan censorship bias. What are you doing? Don't knock my cup of tea over. But while there's no question the media has utterly disgraced itself, it's also a convenient fall guy, by far the weakest player in the counter-disinformation complex. The American press, once the guardian of democracy, was hollowed out to the point it could be worn like a hand puppet by the US security agencies and party operatives. Operation Mockingbird, anybody? They infiltrated all the way, including the media. And I've got a cat, and I can't see the screen at all. Oh, Bubba. Can you sit down? Oh, hang on. Okay. It would be nice to call what has taken place a tragedy, but an audience is meant to learn something from a tragedy. As a nation, America has not only has learned nothing, it has been deliberately prevented from learning anything while being made to chase after shadows. Smiggles, I can't read. Buddy, sit down. Sit down. Okay, hang on. Okay. As a nation, America not only has learnt nothing, it's been deliberately prevented from learning anything while being made to chase after shadows. This is not because Americans are stupid, it's because what has taken place is not a tragedy, but something closer to a crime. Disinformation is both the name of the crime and the means of covering it up, a weapon that doubles as a disguise. The crime is the information war itself, which was launched under false pretenses and by its nature destroys the essential boundaries between the public and private and between the foreign and domestic on which peace and democracy depend. By conflating the anti-establishment politics of domestic populists with acts of war by foreign enemies, it justified turning weapons of war against American citizens. It turned the public arenas where social and political life take place into surveillance traps and targets for mass psychological operations. The crime is the routine violation of Americans' rights by unelected officials who secretly control what individuals can think and say. What we are seeing now in the revelations, sorry guys, live streaming, don't you love it? Oh, little man. Do you want to go out or something? Hang on, guys, I might just have to put him out. Do you want to go out? Do you? Do you want to go out? Come on. Good boy. Okay, that was what he wanted. Okay, where was I up to? Before my stream went sideways with a cat. Okay, what we're seeing now is in the revelations exposing the inner workings of the state corporate censorship regime is only the end of the beginning. The United States is still in its earliest stages of a mass mobilization that aims to harness every sector of society under a singular technocratic rule. The mobilization, which began as a response to supposedly urgent menace of Russian interference, now evolves into a regime of total information control that has arrogated to itself the mission of eradicating abstract dangers such as error, injustice, and harm, a goal worthy only of leaders who believe themselves to be infallible or comic book supervillains. That's what they're like, comic book supervillains. The first phase of the information war was marked by distinctively human displays of incompetence and brute force intimidation. But the next stage already underway is being carried out through both scalable process of artificial intelligence and algorithmic pre-censorship that are invisibly encoded into the infrastructure of the internet, where they can alter the perceptions of billions of people. Well, that explains a lot to me. Oh, that explains a whole lot. Something monstrous is taking shape in America. Formally, it exhibits the synergy of state and corporate power in service of a tribal zeal that is the hallmark of fascism. Yet anyone who spends time in America and is not a brainwashed zealot can tell that it's not a fascist country. What is coming into being is a new form of government and social organisation that is as different from mid-20th century liberal democracy as the early American Republic was from the British monarchism that grew out of it and eventually supplanted. A state organised on the principle that it exists to protect the sovereign rights of the individuals is being replaced by a digital leviathan that wields power through opaque algorithms and the manipulation of digital swarms. It resembles the Chinese system of social credit and one-party state control, and yet that too misses the distinctively American and providential character of the control system. In the time we lose trying to name it, the thing itself may disappear back into the bureaucratic shadows, covering up any trace of it with automated deletions from the top secret data centers of Amazon Web Services, the trusted cloud for the government. When the blackbird flew out of sight, it marked the edge of one of many circles. In a technical, or how freaking long is the, oh my goodness, hang on. Oh, okay, well, let's just quickly go over it. Russiaphobia returns unexpectedly, the origins of contemporary disinformation. This is a very, very long. This article deserves a video on its own. I'm going to leave that one open. Okay, Michael Schellenberger will continue with his thread. We are building a citizens' movement around the world to defund and dismantle the censorship industrial complex. What you can do, subscribe to Public so we can expose the war on free speech, blow the whistle, DM or email Michael Schellenberger. I respect the Pentagon Papers principle, which much of the mainstream media have rejected. They can't be trusted. Ooh. To make a tax-deductible donation, you can do so there. Jason Robertson said, okay, I missed the memo. What the hell is 2SLGBTQI+? They're just making stuff up now. And this is in response to this. Okay, let me. Oh, I see someone else has got an infiltrator in their government. Okay. Animate, and this is the Hodge twins. Animate this, and it's literally a South Park episode. Let's have a listen.
Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI+ community safety zone to prohibit within 100 meters of the property any homophobic, transphobic act of intimidation, threat, offensive threats, offensive remarks, protest, disturbance, and distribution of hate propaganda within the meaning of the criminal code. It also comes with it a penalty of $25,000 if prosecuted successfully. Firstly,
is this Canada? You've got an infiltrator like we've got. Our lady's name is Penny Wong. Who's this person? I'm pretty sure someone called this person Wong as well, the last name Wong. Not 100% sure, but Chook said Will Smith, the guy who thought it was okay to walk up and slap another man on TV, that Will Smith lecturing us on who we should like or dislike. Get in the bin. Liz Churchill said Will Smith wants to cancel all Trump supporters, but I think it's best we cancel this communist pig.
And as painful as it is to hear Donald Trump talk, and as embarrassing it is as an American to hear him talk, I think it's good. We get to hear it, we get to know who people are, and now we get to cleanse it out of our country. And as painful as it is to hear Donald Trump talk, and as embarrassing it is as an
he's embarrassing. Truth Ninja said if Obama was arrested in is that Texas, and assigned a far-right judge appointed by Trump, whose kids had worked for MTG with Ted Cruz as lead prosecutor, in a 9-1 Republican county on flimsy charges. And I'm just spitballing here. I think Liberals would object, but they do it. Jersey Fletcher said, "What a shit show. Do you realise Stormy Daniels retracted her statement denying it ever happened, issued a statement denying it ever happened, and had to pay costs? He will be president, and you just proved you are fake news by..." This is in response to a current affair here in Australia. The stories that matter to you. Catch a current affair with Ali Langdon weeknights at 7 p.m. on Channel 9. Oh, another propaganda agent. Have they replaced the other one, did they? I can't even remember who the other one was. The Gateway Pundit said, revealed, committed leftist judge Juan Merchan, who oversees Trump's sham case in New York City court, made political contributions to stop the Republicans and President for Biden. Biden for president. The president for Biden. I said that the wrong way around. Then Rudy Giuliani said yesterday the judge should have dismissed the Bragg indictment for violating the New York Criminal Procedure Law, Section 200.50, 4 and 7A, and the Due Process Clause of the U.S. Constitution by failing to apprise the defendant of the felony crime he is alleged to have violated. The incompetence it reveals is astonishing and should involve sanctions for prosecutorial abuse and dismissal with prejudice. There you go. I hope you understood that, because I didn't understand a word of it. Oh, dear. Craig Kelly said Albanese is going to import 600,000 new immigrants in the next 24 months. The Labor Party is the enemy of the renter and friend of the property developer. And since he's been paid as a public servant, I wonder how many rental properties Albo owns. Well, he doesn't own mine, thank God. At least I hope not. Craig Kelly said, when they said you will own nothing and you will be happy, they weren't joking. Labor, Liberal, Teals, Greens have all signed up to the totalitarian wet dream of net zero. The United Australia Party rejects this nonsense, and so does Pauline Hanson's One Nation. James Lindsay bought manspreading, I don't know, somewhere. Dylan Mulvaney was made, and he was made for a purpose. He was. I don't think he's actually transgender. Actor. Just an actor. Hasn't had the surgery by the look of it on that Nike ad. And I don't know if anyone's seen him before he did transition, apparently. When he was on, was it Price is Right or something? When he won, he threw himself down on the floor and rolled around and was acting like a Mexican jumping bean. I don't know. Tracy Beans said, I'm on a sorely needed vacation, but I'm having a very hard time keeping my mouth shut. What did I share this for? Okay. And not reading and analysing what is happening. All I can say right now is this, and it ain't that great of a thing to hang your hat on. The only thing left keeping us from totalitarianism in full is the justice system and judges. That's it. There's a tremendous weight on this last check. I have to pray that we haven't lost too many with principle. Yeah, well, more and more of them are showing themselves right now. It's all exposure. That's what we're seeing. That's what all the news is. And even the news that's not real, it's showing us that they're, making anything up to printers' news to distract you from whatever else is going on. Clandestine said, all right, it's time to look at the Manhattan DA situation from a 40,000-foot view. This event is an excellent example of how the deep state operates at the state and local level to push their global agenda. How does Soros' involvement fit into the big picture? Anyone brings up George Soros, the left and their lapdog propagandists act like it's a conspiracy theory. But it's no theory that Soros, a Hungarian oligarch, puts forth billions of dollars into US politics. This man radicalized the left. He looks like he belongs in an old person's home somewhere. He's probably lost his mind and people are still just following him around. And it's not just federal elections. Soros is heavily invested at the state and local level of America's justice system. And I don't know anyone who's watched the 60 Minutes interview with George Soros where he says that he goes in and destabilizes countries. Particularly prosecutors like Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Soros controls district attorneys that represent 20% of Americans. Soros, one of the main financiers of the deep state, has infiltrated and weaponized the justice system, and now he's using it to go after Trump. Soros finances 75 left-wing extremist prosecutors across the USA, so if we want to get into a DA indictment war, they are prepared. Now let's look at the global picture. Why is Soros so afraid of Trump? Why is Soros banned from doing business or stepping foot in China or Russia? Trump, Putin and Xi share a common enemy in Soros, who funds the WF globalist agenda. Why is Soros so concerned about Trump returning to office? Soros knows if Trump returns, there will be peace in the Ukraine, meaning the deep state strings will be cut. Only Soros and his subservient deep state politicians want the war to continue. Their lives depend on it. And Trump says he will solve the Ukraine war in 24 hours, which he would. That is not hyperbole. If Trump returns and negotiates peace, they're all dead. It's easy to get lost in the news cycle, but let's not forget a human-engineered pathogen just killed 7+ million people. Soros, via Open Society, was funding pathogen production in Ukraine. And let's not forget the Chinese military agree with Russian military findings and are demanding that the UN, that Western oligarchs like Soros pay for their crimes against humanity for their role in SARS-2 and the jab schedule. This is what WW3, World War III, is ultimately about, bioweapons. Soros, a man directly accused of creating bioweapons in Ukraine by both the Russian and Chinese militaries, deployed DA Bragg to derail Trump's 2024 campaign, right after Trump said he would negotiate peace in Ukraine. Kirby will tell you peace of any kind is unacceptable. Let's have a listen.
That if coming out of this meeting, there's some sort of call for a ceasefire, well, that's just going to be unacceptable because all that's going to do, Mike, is ratify Russia's conquest to date. All that's going to do is give Mr. Putin more time to refit, retrain, reman, and try to plan for renewed offensives at a time of his choosing. We hope, and we've said this before, that President Xi will call and talk to President Zelensky because we believe the Chinese need to get the Ukrainian perspective here.
He looks a bit scared. I don't know if anyone else noticed his eyes were really, I don't know. Clandis, this is number 10. This political stunt on Trump isn't just about 2024. This is part of World War III. The Manhattan DA hoax is coordinated by the main ideologue financier of the deep state who started the war in Ukraine that Trump, Putin and Xi are trying to stop. Irregular political warfare.
Because this was an insurgency, folks. This was run like an insurgency. This was irregular warfare at its finest in politics. Because this was an insurgency.
There you go. Okay. Wakened Outlaw said, how bad is it? 2 words. Holy shit. Touching what James O'Keefe highlighted on with his first project, O'Keefe Media Group, whereby elderly citizens he confronted had no idea they'd been donating hundreds of times a year to Democrat candidates. Turns out it was a massive national scam used to steal their identities and make ill-gotten donations in their names as cover for the whole slimy operation used to illegally move money into the bank accounts of corrupt politicians. Unsurprisingly, ActBlue and BLM are at the centre of it. This is going to get ugly, and I mean bad ugly. There you go. Okay, what's this one? Eric Trump said Alvin Bragg has shut down the entire city, called up 38,000 NYPD police officers, closed down the FDR Drive, and is spending an estimated $200 million of city funds, all for a 130,000 NDA. I never thought I would see this level of corruption in the United States. So there is a lot going on, guys. Heaps. So, okay, what happened here? What's going on in the chat, guys? Okay, everyone's saying good morning. Alex said, we have left off. I'm way back in the chat, by the way. MJ said, hello, everyone. Make summer hot again, says Carl. Menacing Muskrat said, hope you ate, haven't sent. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I'll still get hungry. Give me another 20 minutes and I'll be hungry again. Out to lunch said, no food talk. And that's when Carl Anthony said, buttery hot potatoes. Whoops. MM said, hi, Hev. Hi, everyone. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. I got a delivery the other day I've got a new chook house. So I got a delivery the other day of this little chook house that has 2 nesting boxes on the end, one on each end, and it has a little perching area in there. And it absolutely closes up at night, so they have privacy. So I've got that, and I've got to put that together. So there could be a video coming out of, if I can get the videos right this time, of me putting that one together. Out to lunch today. Okay, chocolate and stuff, I guess. MJ said, wish I could send her a pizza, lol. Oh, my goodness. Darren said, don't worry, Carl. The more solar panels we use, the warmer the summers will get. Yeah, they'll attract the heat all right. Menacing Muskrat said, Darren, yes, our saviour did the ultimate sacrifice. Out to lunch is saying, hey, MM. Everyone's saying hello. Darren said, it always makes me teary to think of it, Muskrat. Mrs. Out to Lunch said, how's Hev? I'm pretty good. MJ said, you beautiful Hev. I look like I just got out of bed. My hair does, I mean. But anyway, let's not worry about that. Ms. Out to Lunch said, you look just fine. Thank you. Out to Lunch said, hey, beautiful Donna. Mrs. Out to Lunch said, lol, Fred. Fred loves Donna and Donna loves Fred. Yep. Alex said, Fred loves Donna. Ms. Out to Lunch said, hey, Alex. MJ said, Bud getting spanked. Yep, Bud. It's a whole, like, they do a lot of stuff, actually. You got to look at the, what is the name of their parent company? And they should say the lady that was put in charge of the marketing explains it all. Darren said, what has Cranky buried in her garden? Alex said, Donna loves Fred. Darren said, Buzzwise just became Bud Dumber. Yeah. Hey, Dealey, how you going? Menacing Muskrat said, Darren, now I know I watched this video this afternoon. It was great. It brought tears. Oh. And Randy said, hey, Bud is tranny fluid now. Yep. Everyone's saying hello. Alex said, yeah, I saw a guy shoot some Bud Light. They are building rods for their own backs following all the weirdness, MJ. Yeah, that was Kid Rock, wasn't it? Hey, Alex, how you going? Out to lunch, said Dealey. And Dealey said, hello, Alex. Randy Muskrat, out to lunch. Yeah, Kid Rock, machine guns, Bud. Yep. MJ said, Alex, it's getting fun. Alex said, I think they were waiting for your last strike down before hitting you again. Yeah. Well, they didn't. Yeah, well, they didn't. They did it a bit early. So this time I got 2 weeks. And I think right before the 2 weeks is up or just after I come back, they're going to hit me again and wipe it all out. So if that happens, I'll be over here on this one and I'll hook it all up to the... I can't put the Streamlabs donations in the chat here because you have to be running Streamlabs at the time, I think, to be able to get any donations through them. So what I'll have to do is, because I'm logged in as my other account and I've forgotten the password for this account. Oh dear. And the phone number doesn't work anymore, so I'm going to have to go through email or something. And Dealey said, hey, I can't. Yeah, this channel will not be monetized. It won't be monetized at all. And the only way I'll be able to do it is through Streamlabs when I get it set up. So Darren said, then there's Nike, Alex, but I expect it from them. Alex said, I mean before it ended, lol. Alex said, hey, Dealey. Randy said they broke into BlackRock. Did they? Did they actually break in there? Oh, dear. MJ said, Dealey, she is monetized because YouTube strike. No, that's because this one's not linked to the other one. And I know, because you know how? I know that I'm getting held back on my other channel. Because this one, if you look at every video, they have a lot more views. So this is like this one's not connected to the other one, so it'll never be monetized. So it'll have to go through Streamlabs, and that'll have to wait until I'm on Streamlabs and logged in there. Darren said, Randy, he looks a bit old to be a kid now, more like Grandpa Rock now. You know what you can do, actually? It's up to you if you want to, but YouTube takes 30%. But I noticed that Dealey had left a tip in the comments section. I didn't know you could do that. Apparently, you can tip people in the comments section. I don't know. If you work out, let me know. Darren said, Randy looks a bit old to be a kid now, more like Grandpa Rock now. Yep. Alex said, this channel isn't monetized. You can still donate through StreamYard, where Hev will get nearly all the money instead of you getting a cut. Yeah, exactly. I just don't know if it works when I'm not streaming on there. That's the only reason I didn't put the link in there, Alex, was because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Randy said, but he's got a machine gun. Menacing Muskrat said, wow, I got bumped. Oh, really? Randy said, had my 250 out. Dealey said, hello, Alex, I tried that too. It won't let me. No, I think I have to be live on Streamlabs for the donation to work. So I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, as I said, I have to charge the other phone first because I've got a separate phone for that. Oh my God, you should see what lengths I've gone to. Oh dear. I should find out by the next 2 days. I'm going to have tomorrow off. I'm not going to do a video tomorrow. Wheezy's doing a video tomorrow, and I think it's a marathon. So I'll just be tuning into that while I'm like building my chook pen and doing stuff, you know, like your washing and it's about to get really cold. Well, it already is really cold here. But yeah, the fire's about to get lit. Alex said, I heard something about Nike, but not sure what they did. Darren, what did they do? Menacing Muskrat said, hello, Randy. What's shaking over there? Randy said, China. Yeah. Darren said, shooting up here with a machine gun still better than popping a balloon with a missile. Dealey said, Nike pulled a Budweiser. Yep. Hey, David, how you going? Simone, how you going? Darren said, Alex, Nike has Dylan advertising for them. Tampax uses him too. Yep. Honey's on the Bud Light cans. They're all getting in on it. They think that's what's popular. They're going to find out the hard way. Randy said, balloon captured more than they are letting on. Menacing Muskrat said, Randy, someone duct taped a banana on the Chinadian flag. Randy said, can't protest, tranny. MJ said, these mofos. Randy said, bands, trans. Darren said, imagine a bloke selling women's sports bras. Yeah, well, look, you can't see where it's going to hold anything up, you know, without anything there. And he says on his TikTok videos, as far as I'm aware, he has said that he has had the transition surgery and all this, and it doesn't look like. I don't think he has. Alex said, I think all these horrid conglomerates need taking down. They use the most vulnerable people in the world and pay them virtually nothing. They all do it, Darren. I think that's what we're watching right now. We're watching them get taken down. Menacing Muskrat said, sick. Yep, I agree. MJ said it's a crime scene, not art. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Alex said, I saw that yesterday with the painting. It's sick. The end is near. They aren't hiding it anymore. Well, they're not. And I've been watching it. I've been watching them groom for years. Grooming people, like trying to make, oh, my hair's really bad, actually. Trying to normalize pedos. Randy said it's going to blow soon. Daly said we will not let them normalize or legalize pedos. No, definitely not. Randy said it can't get much more sick. Oh, seriously, those people. And you know, most of them are the ones in charge and not wanting Mr. Trump to get in because they know they're going to go down for it. MJ said to Randy, I'm praying for it every day. Menacing Muskrat said, Randy, yes, indeed. Darren said, I know, Alex, people give them power, though. Why do people wear labels that promote products? You should get things free if you're advertising. Alex said, God is coming to cleanse the world. I agree. Alex said, looks like a man, sounds like a man. MJ said, clitoris and have babies. A woman is an adult human female. Very easy, except for them. And Matt even made them speechless by asking if a guy said he was having a miscarriage as a medical trained person, would you treat them for miscarriage? And they said no, because they're not the same. Randy said, better man, weak, yep. Hey, Deb, how you going? Alex said, no matter how many ways they try and dress it up, there is man and woman, full stop. Darren said, the only way to change sex would be to change every cell in your body. Not only impossible, but if you do that, you wouldn't be you anymore. So you may still be in the wrong body. Yep, I agree. Talanj said, Deb. Deb said, thank you. Thanks, Hev, for letting me know you're here. I still had to look for you. Really? Oh, good on you, Deb, for turning up. Menacing Muskrat said, Deb, hello. How was your week? David said, what a load of cod swallop. Of course, it's simple if you're born with it. Penis, and you can't have babies or ever bear one. No. I don't understand how they can't understand that. Or half the population that agrees with them. Like women who... How? Out to lunch said, if you want to be female, cut it off and then we can talk about that. Until then, you're a poser. Yep. Alex said, I'm done with it all, Darren. That's why I didn't want to put too much of it on. I didn't want to put any of it. I want to ignore them now. And I will unless it's a still picture. I don't want to see Dylan Mulvaney jumping around like a goose. Menacing Muskrat said, I love it. Dealey said, hey, Deb. Darren said, me too, Alex. David said, gobsmacked and forced to concede that point. Go away with those semantic BS arguments. Deb said, God, they're completely insane, aren't they? Yep. This trans dude, yep. Alex said, sit down, man. MJ said, Deb, they are. Reality is hard for them. I don't know how. Menacing Muskrat said more like, sit down, boy. Deb said, hey, MJ. Hey, Missy T, how you going? Good to see ya. Alex is laughing at Muskrat. Out to lunch said, reality bites. Missy T said, hey, everyone. MJ said, hey, Deb. Alex said, hey, Missy T. Deb said, hey, Missy T. Darren said, Transformers are the result of going against the Bible. It starts with seemingly innocent sin of some same-sex relationship, then this crap. Yeah. Menacing Muskrat said, well done. Out to lunch said, Missy T, hey, girl. Alex said, it's a man. Exactly. It's a man. Come on, man. MJ said, I love. D. Lee said, agreed, Darren. Menacing Muskrat said, Missy T, hello. And Deb said, hey, menacing. Everyone's saying hello everywhere. Alex said their delusions are being fed and in a lot of cases forced to mutilate their bodies with no return. It's a demonic world. Yeah, and also people who are detransitioning are not allowed on a lot of platforms, or they don't promote it. They hide it. Who knows? Randy said, hard to argue with a moron of low intelligence. Darren said, likely drunk. That implies there's some chance she may not be drunk. So Nancy was definitely drunk. She's always drunk. Randy said, hit the like. Out to lunch said, isn't a democracy mob rule? Yeah. And that's what they want, because they want the mob to rule, and a mob that they can control. MJ said, fancy Nancy's also always snoggered, plastered. 3 sheets to the wind. Is it 3 sheets to the wind? Under the table. Deb's laughing. Those hands. Yeah, with Nancy Pelosi, she's like always like, I don't know, doing something, you know? Randy said, drunk to lie and live. MJ said, RFK, yep. You do need someone infiltrating that other side. Menacing Muskrat said, Skeletor and Hillary. Alex said, probably trying to grab for her imaginary bottle of gin. Yeah, maybe she has to keep her hands busy so she's not, because she's not normally used to doing this. I don't know. Not having a go at everybody who drinks. Deb said, hey, Randy. Randy said, hey, Deb. Deb's laughing. So true, Alex. Dealey said, don't witches cast spells using their hand? Probably. That's probably what she's doing. I'm hungry already. I told you, give me another 20 minutes and I'd be hungry. Darren said, Alex, just watch a clip of Dylan and you will see how a demon acts in their natural state. Randy said, did you see CNN reported low Biden numbers? No, but they're getting forced to report on certain things. Missy T said, big fish, little fish, cardboard box. MJ said, Dealey, what has she done with those hands? Shudder. Deb said, her spell would still be jumble. Out to lunch said, no dictates. That seems weird. It would hurt. And what would I tap on? Dealey's laughing. Alex said, Biden shakes imaginary hands. Pelosi grabs for imaginary liquor bottles. Exactly. Yeah, I did see 2 Democrats expelled because they were in a protest. You know, those, I don't know if it was a fiery but mostly peaceful protest, but they were protesting and they were disruptive, and the Tennessee, what is it? The Congress couldn't get anything done. They were that disruptive. And they kept a lady there, only by 1 vote, because she wasn't loud and disruptive. But they said that's because she's white. MJ's laughing at Alex. Alex said, be right back. Got to let a giant spider out the window. It's not one of those false windows, is it? Oh. Deb said, Trump is too cool for them. Yep. Darren said, if they tell us we can't use money, how long before the chopping block is centrepiece in Parliament Square? Randy said, no crime listed. Yeah, I'm trying to get all my money out of the bank. Not that I've got much anyway, but I'm trying to get my money out of the bank so it's not sitting there, because I know something's going to happen shortly. Menacing Muskrat says, so let's go. Brandon isn't going to Princess Charles' coronation. He's sending Jill. Oh, dear. There you go. Randy said, your mortgage bill and void if currency changes. Yes. Mr. T said, distractions. Menacing Muskrat said, Randy, a Jubilee year, won't that be something? Randy said, no, not Bill. Yeah, I believe so, if they do, because isn't there something in the paperwork you sign? Darren said, imagine if Mr. Bragg is right. You can be charged with any crime under the sun without ever naming the crime. Exactly. He didn't even name it. And apparently it's the same crime repeated over and over again 35 times or something. Randy said, boomerang coming, they're stepping in quicksand. Randy said, Trump's motorcades look presidential because it had an ambulance. Out to lunch said, these people can't help but say the quiet part out loud. Yeah, imagine Joe standing there saying that they've built the most fraudulent. I can't believe he said it. But anyway, let the rest of the people hear it. Darren said, Muskrat, we only put up with Charles in the hope of his son being better, but now Will has teamed up with Horseface. I expect the coronation to be even less celebrated. Menacing Muskrat said, Obama is trying to go back to Kenya, sealed indictments. Boy, it's getting interesting, is he? Oh. Randy said, check flags at Mar-a-Lago speech. Davis said, I heard him say this back before the 2020 election, so how come there's still an argument against the stolen election? Damn it. The man spelled it out and people didn't wake up. It's about to be proven to everyone, I believe. There are things going on behind the scenes. There are court cases. I've been trying to keep up with them, but not really able to. With Arizona and all that, there's things going on. There are things going on. And I believe it'll be brought into the limelight soon. And maybe that's what they're afraid of, so they're trying to arrest Trump instead because they want to cover up whatever's going to come out. MJ said they don't pay attention. Randy said yellow perimeter. Menacing Muskrat said, Randy, I saw that and was watching for it too. Deb said, I thought I was going mad when I heard him tell the truth about... Yeah, exactly. Davis said, everyone with the brain wants Trump back. Exactly. Darren said, yes, Muskrat, hundreds of sealed indictments ready to be triggered. Was Trump's arrest that trigger? Next is a shot heard around the world, and that will be Obama. Randy said, is he going to tweet storm is upon us soon? I don't know. Hey, Cynthia, how you going? Deb said, I would be at war with my family if they knew about me supporting Trump. Really? I'm all out with it. I tell my left-leaning friends and everything, so if they want to stay away from me, feel free. I support Trump. But some of them, like, I've got one friend, she thinks Trump's funny, you know. She didn't like him at the beginning because she did believe the media, but she thinks he's funny and giving it to him. So, you know, hopefully there's one person changed their mind. Menacing Muskrat said, Randy, the gold fringe on the flags were outside of the main room and infringed flags were behind POTUS. Wow. Selena, how you going? Randy said, yes. Out to lunch said, Cynthia, good Friday back at you. Michelle App, how you going? Darren said, I know, Deb, some people cannot reason the truth anymore. Menacing Muskrat said, Selena, hi. Randy said, Teflon Don. Yep, everything slides off. Deb said, hey, Cynthia. Davis said, honest John, the gun-hating enabler of bottom of the harbour schemes. MJ said, hi, Selena, Michelle. Everyone's saying hello. Menacing Muskrat said, yes, it's Good Friday. Yep, we're Easter Saturday here now in Australia. And I'm hungry. Cynthia said, love to all. I've got to go and cook an Irish stew. Out to lunch said, Michelle, how you going? Dealey said, hello, Selena, Michelle. Randy said, love you all. Darren said, let the rich put their money in digital and wait for an EMP, not rich anymore. Exactly. MJ said, love to you, Cynthia, as well. Randy said, especially Hev. Oh, God, love you. Alex said, I'm back, not had a big one like that for ages. Spider. Oh. I was wondering what you're talking about for a minute then I realised, oh, yeah, there's a big spider, not a false window. Ah, dear. And Deb said, hey, Michelle. And Cynthia said, big what, Alex? Darren said, hope you cracked a window, Alex. Dealey said, you're too sweet, Alex. Alex said, hey, David. Deb said, hey, Selena. Michelle said, hello out to lunch, Dealey and Deb. David said, the rich will not have their money in CBDC. Darren, that's only for the plebs. Randy said, not for us either. Deb said, it's small print on these referendums. Alex said, a spider saw it running along the floor and didn't want my cats to kill it, so just put it in a glass out the door. Hey, Shannon. Late fee. Sorry, was out gardening. Pets. Chook's now off to get blood work done for cardiologist next week. Yay. Oh, hope you're all right, Shannon. No, I don't think you can pay a late fee. There's no option. Deb said, hey, Shannon. Darren said, true, David, gold and property only, but we won't be allowed to own anything. Cynthia said, oh, Alex. David said, not for me, Randy. I'm not plebeian. I'm upper-class hillbilly. Out to lunch said, Shannon, be well. Hey, EDD, how you going? Behind, but wanted to answer. Can't see because they're all going blurry. Can't see only media and other keeping the demons alive. People still following fake news and swampland production of cabal. Yep. Darren said, Alex, the way I see it, if the cat gets it, then it's nature. Randy said, I can live in a barter world. MJ said, balls. Deb said, she means salinity. Alex said he was a beast, so it may have kicked the cat's back, come in with its boots on. Darren said, I have to think like that or I'd be crying every day from the mice being tortured by the cats. David said, takes mental illness to pretend to be a woman, no balls needed, even though they clearly have them or had them. I agree. Shannon said, Nike releasing gear to pull you twig and berries back into your crack. Yeah, the tuck away gear. Randy said, caught a mouse in a trap yesterday, out to lunch to do it. Takes balls to pretend to be a woman. Alex said, I took a picture of his fangs, lol. Darren said, do spider boots let you climb walls? EDD said, did you all listen? Real Trump rallies, Joe is shot in his basement. Deb said, Shannon. Alex said, thanks very much. Alex said, hey, Shannon. Dealey said, oh, these guys putting on woman face is the equivalent of blackface. It's ridiculous, insulting, and offensive. I agree. Menacing Muskrat said, Jacinta Ardern has no balls to say that. I think she might have. Did anyone see that footage where she was walking out and there was something just like Michelle Obama? There was something flying around inside the pants there, under the dress. Alex said, hey, EDD. Shannon said, Nike's new slogan from just do it to screw it. Yep. Menacing Muskrat said, Shannon, hello, how's socks? Deb's laughing at Shannon. Shannon said, Bud Light in his slippers. Darren said, the lady's got balls. She's got balls. Oh, EDD said, oops, swamp endorsing Trump being arrested. Dark to light coming. Darren said, ladies should go to balls, not have them. Yeah, should go to the balls, not have the balls. Yes, I agree. Cynthia said, balls again. ACDC rocks. Yes. She's got the biggest balls of them all. If go and listen to ACDC's song called Big Balls. I think that's what it's called. Alex said, yeah, they've all have balls and they're taking full advantage of being allowed to be a pervy in public. I agree. Randy said, back in black. Alex said, pervert. Deb said, hey, Diddy. Out to lunch said, hey, Diddy. Not for much longer, Alex. The Transformers are arming for a war against us. They won't go how they think. Ruff said they just announced the measles pandemic. Make sure you get me Vaseline that helps the prick. You guys. Menacing Muskrat said, please remember the true reasons why it's called Good Friday. Amen. Everyone's saying hello. Menacing Muskrat says, not about Easter bunnies and Easter eggs. Yes, I know. It's the real reason. Read the Bible. Darren said, yes, Muskrat, but Jesus would have been livid at these things too. Cynthia said, amen, Menacing Muskrat. Yep. I ate fish yesterday, Good Friday. Shannon said, Hev, maybe I can donate through your son's channel. I don't think so. If you just hang on, I'll be back in, like, okay, if I'm not babysitting on Monday, which I don't think I am, I'll be going live and I'm going to try and do it through Streamlabs so that if anyone wants to, they can do it through there. Otherwise, Shannon, the only way you can donate is, I don't know how you do it. You go into someone's video, like mine, say, right? Hang on, let me just have a look and see if I can just get into one of my videos for, oh, not this one. Yeah, that one. On the other channel, right? Oh, and there's a little option on the mobile phone. You can't see it. It says thanks. You can still donate on the other channel, and you can donate that way. I know Dee Lee did it the other way, and I didn't know how she did it, but now I see it. It's thanks. So if you want to, Shannon, you can go on the other channel and donate that way. Otherwise, you have to wait. I don't know. Alex said, I think I might have to open PayPal again. I don't want to do that, though. StreamYards is better. Alex said, people are getting sick of this and it's going to end in a bang and I can't wait. Deb said, hey, Ruff Ruff. MJ said, menacing. Darren said, oh, but the bunnies are so cute. Shannon said, driving and listening for a bit. Cynthia said, an eggsy yummy. Ooh. Alex said, Jesus gave life so we could be free. Randy said, help me, Jesus. Cynthia said, free indeed we are. Darren said, yes, Cynthia, yummy chocolate eggs. You guys are going to make me hungry again. EDD said, Devon out to lunch. Cynthia said, chocolate. Randy said, we are not free. No, we're not at the moment. Xenotron said, Obama's leaving gift for the American people, the gift of propaganda. Randy said, cake? Oh, my goodness. My stomach's going to start grumbling. D. Lee said, hey, Zena. MJ said, carrot cake is better than chocolate. I think I want to go and make gingerbread. I bought some ginger and some molasses or whatever it is. Darren said, that's what the street girls told me, Randy? Or stray? Alex said, the world has become so twisted just like the Bible said it would be before he returns again. As it was in the days of Noah, so it shall be again. And Sodom and Gomorrah. That's what it feels like, Sodom and Gomorrah. Cynthia said, amen, Alex. Xenotron said, I wonder why Jesus used the right pronouns. Menacing Muskrat said, I'm so done with Castro here in China, just so done. Menacing Muskrat, I believe that Canada is going to get taken with the US in, like, it's going to become part of it. Extra state. Or a few. So just hang in there. Darren said, the only thing to ask Alex is, can it get worse? If not, then it must be time. Deb said, hey, Zena. Randy said, don't protest universal non-compliance. Yeah, just do not comply. Xenotron said they'll be eating and drinking. They will be giving each other in marriage. Who is they and is it prophetic? EDD said the government, terrorist and justice system is mockingbird media and Hollyass. So on Trump bad because he knows all and keeping promises made, promises kept, draining swamp. Yeah, is exposing them. They're being exposed at the moment. They might be getting dealt with too behind the scenes, but we don't know. Xenotron said, hey, DB, had to go out and pay my rent, but I'm back now. David said, everything begins with mind, including freedom. Common law is natural law. I was born free and remain free. Yeah, like in my head I'm free, but if according to them I'm not. But I don't listen to a lot either. Darren said, I've got a lot of faults. I do listen on some things, okay? Just so I don't get fined beyond belief. But even then, I'd probably fight that too. Darren said Trudeau's days are numbered, Muskrat. Randy said some will leave and some will stay. What from wheat from chaff? Yep. Cynthia said, nice, David. Deb said, hey, David. Menacing said, Xenotron, they are the Adreno Chrome customers. Yep. David says, my BC says, boy, and my name is not capitalized. No one can tell me I'm a slave. I'm not. I'm a free man. MJ said, Mara. Mara means bitter. Christian Passover was reading about that. Randy said, something new is coming. Xenotron said, the tares will be removed. The wheat is then harvested and taken to the threshing floor. Who will survive the winepress of wrath that is promised? Looks like we're vulnerable. Randy said, age of Aquarius. Cynthia said, just living, pardon me, in a slave world. MJ said, also water and horse. Crazy, huh? Alex said, I actually didn't think it would get a lot worse, but we are equipped to deal with it. God never leaves our side. We are his warriors, and I've always been ready to fight for him. Xenotron said, menacing muskrat, they ain't me. Randy said, end of times for them, freedom for us. Yes, exactly. Randy said, we are chosen to be here now. Alex said, even when I thought I wasn't ready and wanted to give up, I was given strength every time. That's what you just need to find it and pull it out. Pull that strength out from wherever you can. Xenotron said, Randy, it is here. We just can't visually see it yet, like the South American Indians when they first saw the Spanish ships. Muskrat said, we are right. We're crossing over to the age of Aquarius as we speak. First star of this constellation's being seen now. Darren said, true, Alex, we're at the point of the mark of the beast, but not at that point that merchants' wares are worthless. Randy said, yep. Cynthia's showing kitty cats. ED said, Muskrat, the Trude of Canada is long gone actor. He effed around after surrendering Trump, try and kill Trump along with his French Macron lover and US military. Xenotron said, Alex, me too. I've learned to break down time to when I open my eyes and when I close my eyes at night. That's all we really have. Alex said, God has always been a constant and carried me in my lowest moments. I've always loved that poem, Footprints in the Sand, as it always resonated with me. God is good. I love that poem. Randy said, material goods are worthless. Life is everything. Out to Lunch said, Xenotron, I've seen that about the Spanish ships. You think mankind isn't seeing something now? Randy said, great awakening. Hey, Miss Bitch, how you going? Cynthia's laughing. MJ said, kitty producers, lol. Yeah, they're temperamental. Selena said, all those people in those countries because the potato has screwed the world. Cynthia said, pet her with your chin, Hev. Randy said, we all resonate at 1748 hertz. Selena said, sorry, they support Trump. Sherry said, God has been with me all week through the bad storms and through court. When I thought they were going to take my granddaughter, all my prayers, oh, good, Sherry. Oh, thank God for that. I wonder how Luna's doing too with her problem. I'm really happy, Sherry. That's so good. Menacing Muskrat said, Alex, me too. Love that poem. She's put it up there. Out to Lunch said, Xenotron, I've seen a video using a piece of glass that helped decloak a ship in the air. Cynthia said, kitty break. Xenotron said, out to lunch. It's not our fault that we cannot see. It's like a baby being conceived. You don't even know it's there. And then it's still so small you can't comprehend, but it has life of its own. It'll become evident, but if you don't know what you're looking for. And David said, democracy might have been a good idea at the time. It's just a shame it was never tried anywhere on the planet. Dealey said, good to hear about your granddaughter, Sherry. Definitely. Out to Lunch said, Kitty Brown Eye. Yep. Xenotron said, I'd like to see that video. Out to Lunch. Cynthia said, whoops, it's him. Yeah. Deb said, Kitty is sending messages to their kitty friends. Chill with cat. Children. Randy said, Democratic Republic. That's it. Exactly. A Democrat. I nearly said demonic. Democratic Republic. That's exactly what the US is. It's not a democracy. MJ said, Sherry. Alex said, thank you, Muskrat. I saved that to my favorites. Cynthia said, Deb, cute. And there's Psalms in there that Menacing Muskrat has put up. Susie, how you going? Alex said, maybe Hev can read it out. Okay. Hang on. I can't open it. Why can't I open it? I can't open the links from StreamYard. That's what I'm on. Yeah, StreamYard. So I can't even read it out. Xenotron said the Congo is a democratic republic. The United States is a constitutional republic. Dealey said, hello, Susie. Cynthia said, yes, I'm a child of God. Xenotron said, democracy does not work in a constitutional republic. It is the rule of law, not the rule of lawyers. Menacing Muskrat said, Susie, hello and welcome. Salusi? What the hell am I doing? I'm reading all the words in one now. I think I should go back to bed. Oh, David said, we are the free press. The free press never existed before. It was always controlled since the invention of the printing press. Out to Lunch said, Xenotron, it was a short clip, but you know how a lot of hoaxes are out there. I wish there wasn't, but a lie is a lie. MJ said, hi, Susie. Susie said, how long have you been on? Have to go, but we'll be back in half an hour. I've been on for an hour and 50 minutes. I'm going to go soon. I'm hungry again. Randy said, we're all God's children. Alex said, I'll read them both. I would if I could open them. Menacing Muskrat said, Susie, 35 minutes. Oh, I'm way back in the chat then. 56 minutes. He's in us all. Our DNA, yes. Susie said, hey, everyone. Menacing Muskrat said, I got bumped again. Susie said, out to Lunch said, Susie, almost an hour now she's been on. Yep, it should be a short one today. Pat is on from SNL, says MJ. Xenotron said, Hev, can you please put the link to that article? I would like to read it again. Which one was that? A Guide to Understanding the Hoax? I don't know if you guys can open it from here. I don't know if that was the right one. Get this back over here. AI is not evil, could be a great thing, but we only have AI that can put our voice into. That makes it an existential threat. MJ said, oh, Darren, I don't know about that, yikes. Darren said, don't you wish God was still turning people into pillars of salt? Alex said, I'm so happy for you, Sherry. Such good news. God is with us always. Dealey said, yes, Darren. It'll be on South Park soon, said Deb. Wong, isn't that how you pronounce wrong in a Chinese accent? I saw Wong. Cynthia said, Will Smith's so gay. Out to Lunch said, is that racism? Alex said, Deb Richardson, everything ends up on South Park. Dealey said, that's right, Will Smith cleansing you out. Deb's laughing. Darren said, you're right, out to Lunch. Alex said, yeah, apparently Stormy had to pay him $600,000 in damages. Susie said, I have heard TD Bank and RBC are the next banks to go. People having trouble getting money out. We should put our money in a local credit union. Big banks not solvent. Ruff said the next pandemic's going to be the bird flu and you won't be allowed outdoors. I heard about it yesterday. Yeah, they can go jump. I don't care what they say. If you're not allowed outdoors, I'll go outdoors. MJ said, heard recently Stormy has a Nexium scar. Doesn't surprise me. Susie said, please come on this weekend. Have so much happening. See you soon. Sherry said, heard Oblami is going to Kenya in June or July to stay for a year. Imagine that. Out to Lunch said, rough birds aren't real. They're government drones. Didn't you know that? Randy said, yeah, that's my government in action, lol. What a joke. MJ said, Susie, great idea. Cynthia said, Stormy, the Witches of Beastwick. Randy said, look at the clowns. Menacing Muskrat said, I think Stormy Daniels may be part of the storm. She had so many connections with Nexium and the other island hoppers, just saying. Alex said, he's gaslighting. Menacing. MJ said, menacing, yep. Darren said, Dylan has no surgery and doesn't even shave well. He tries to act like a young girl but comes off as an autistic camp gay guy. Alex said, he acts like the most grotesque version of a woman. Bloody foul. Randy said, I boycott Tampax. Darren said, Alex, I've never met a woman that acts like that. I've met many gay guys that act like it, though. Yeah, that are flamboyant and out, you know. Out to lunch to the garbage man. Kat called him, well, garbage men, no garbage. Alex said it's still news. Is today's news still tomorrow's chip paper? Menacing Muskrat said brag, not Alvin. Deb said boycott Tampax, Nike, Bud Light. Centron said how can they be political? I thought they're supposed to be about justice. Isn't that why there are 3 branches of power, apparently? Randy said Trump's New York motorcade looked presidential. Out to lunch said boycott, yep. Alex said it's perverted nonsense, Darren. Darren said the garbage man asked if he was Dylan. That's not a cat call, probably making sure so he could braid him to his colleagues. Randy said fat Alberta. Sherry said Soros is actually a Schwab all in the family. It wouldn't surprise me either. Darren said, Alex, if any man is attracted to that behaviour, then they are not straight. Menacing Muskrat said George Soros. There you go. Alex said we need more people to call it out. Sadik Khan's motorcade looked hypocritical. Alex said, hey, Scary Mary, you look scared. Deb said, why are they all scared of Trump? Menacing Muskrat said, because POTUS is exposing them. Darren said, Deb, in card games, you always worry if someone has a trump. Shannon said, fat Albert Muskie, Theodore is the fat chipmunk. Deb said, they don't make money with our war. Cynthia said, Trump is scary Operation Warp Speed. Darren said, also in a lift, you always worry someone will Trump. Out to lunch said, who is the creator of the money app killed recently, Cash App? I don't know. Yeah, I heard about that, but I don't know who it was. Alex said, do you remember that Illuminati card game? One of them has Trump on it. Yeah, it says enough. Yeah, exactly. Darren said, I was going to get that, Alex. I wish I had. Alex said, oh, little chooks. Yeah, I got them a proper closed-in area where they can go and they can perch in there. And there's 2 little boxes, one at either end, little nesting boxes for them to lay their eggs. And I'll still keep the other ones for if they just want to lay in them, lay their eggs in them or play in them or whatever. EDD said, wasn't Trump in New York City endorsing fake Trump? Wasn't Trump Tower either watch video, not Fifth Avenue? And that road's completely blocked off, has steel barriers, security shack with Secret Service. I don't know. They were trying to, I know they were trying to get the photos of like putting cuffs on him and having him dragged out of somewhere. Alex, David said, I do, Alex, that, and that card said something like, our snipers can take you out anytime. One thing they forgot, God. Hey, Zal, how you going? Out to lunch said, Romper Room. You ever watch that where she would call out the names? That's how she makes me feel. Oh, God love you. Degley said, hey, Zal. Deb said, I can see Hev. Out to lunch said, buy her a coffee. Degley said, I remember Romper Room. Even buy me a coffee takes more out than what they do in Streamlabs. I'll have to come back on with Streamlabs. David says, shooting empty tin cans off fence posts replaced by new sports, shooting full Bud Light cans off fence posts. After all, it's not much use for anything else, really. MJ said, out to lunch, yes. EDD said, lol, George, so something dread only the media, keeping their demons alive. I see dead people everywhere. Shannon said, who's next, Mr. Doobie? Ruff said, fish and chips don't taste the same now. They're wrapped in iPhones. Alex said, I think it said at the top, enough is enough. Darren said, cheaper to buy her a glass of wine. Out to lunch said, Deb, you remember? Shannon said, Kid Rock. Deb said, I loved Romper Room. Yeah, she never said my name. Sal said, g'day, Dealey. Alex said, I think you can still get it online, Darren. Darren said, yes, have they gutted BlackRock in France? David said, more than enough already, Alex. Time to end endless. Deb said, we're really showing our age now. Xenotron said, Deb, hey, Deb, just scroll back. Everyone, internet spotty here. All the campers are hogging the bandwidth. Shannon said, give all your passwords to Google. Darren said, be right back, need a cuppa. Alex said, it still works, I think, Hev. Does it? Dealey said, yep, just stumbled upon it. It's a thanks. Out to lunch said, I've done a lot of bumps in my day, but no more. Davis said, Nike using tranny idiot Dylan Mulvaney too. They're all starting to show their true colours now. Xenotron said, Hev, I'm just going to keep donating to your channel as a member. I don't like these YouTube rules. Menacing Oscar said, thumbs up, folks. Thank you. Oh, thank you, by the way, Xenotron. God love you. Alex said, oh, no, yeah, it doesn't work. Let's you get all the way through, then won't highlight the donate. Yeah, because I'm not live on it. I think that's what it is. Sal said, how can those companies be so out of touch with reality? Xenotron said, I've always noticed that once Easter has come and gone, we seem to get the cold side of the sun. It's almost instant, don't you think? Yeah, it got cold real quick, real suddenly. Lucky I had got wood. Sal said, does anyone ever call these trannies jokes out on TikTok? Shannon said, because those companies are owned by the bad guys. Out to lunch said, normalise the bulge. Xenotron said, can we ask the question in retaliation, what is a tranny? Yeah, because they are, if men and women are the same and men can be women, what are they transitioning into? Isn't that what trans means? Transitioning into something? Dealey said, get woke, go broke. Xenotron said, we don't have the language for that either. EDD said, don't celebrate any of these demons' holiday evil and not give them energy. Shannon said, Battle of the Bulge 2.0. Deb said, Dylan has facial surgery for feminine face and wants the bulge to become the norm. He is also flat-chested. So, yeah, so the only surgery he's had is on the face. Sal said, a tranny is usually a confused guy. Simple. Xenotron said, I left my degree in visual art because the infiltration of the perverted agenda, destruction of beauty, and promotion of the destruction of our humanity. I am Kai. How you going? In my day, blowing a tranny meant a bag mechanical bill. Alex said, hopefully this works. Buy me a coffee. You can use Stripe as well. Hang on. Am I logged in there? I don't know. Hang on a sec. Let me see if I can get in here. That wasn't it. It's that. Oh, now I've got to do the code thingy. Okay, where do we get this one from? Is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, there's Buy Me a Coffee and there is Stripe. Because I think Buy Me a Coffee is only they only let you donate $5 or something. What has happened here? Come back here. My mouse isn't working properly either. Right. Okay. Darren said the companies aren't out of touch, Sal. They're trying to force their will upon us. They do not serve God. Sal said, I think there's a load of demons pulling the strings. Out to lunch said, Deb, my man, boobs are bigger than Dylan's. Out to lunch said, Deb, my man, boobs are bigger than Dylan's. Out to lunch said, I am Kai. Is Bruce live? Xenotron said, if you saw what someone PhD involved, you'd be disgusted as I was. It turned out to be a big problem. Everyone's saying hello. Darren said, lol. Azal, Satan is panicking because he knows his time's running out. Alex said, I think I did see that Nike thing actually, but didn't realise it was Nike. David says, brainwashing, nothing else explains the delusion of men think that they can be women. Stan predicted this in the life of Brian, come to think of it. Alex said, now you just said about him jumping around. Menacing Muskrat said, Easter, Asheroth, she was an ancient Sidonian goddess, child sacrifice. Alex said, come on, man. Sanatron says, no surprise that such filth is now being thrust upon the public at the new exhibition in London. Sickening. Darren said, problem is, Alex, once you see it, it will haunt you all day. David said, well, you can tell by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man, no time to talk. Shannon said, I'm in the waiting room. I'm number 2. Who does number 2 work for? Who does number 2 work for? Sanatron said, hey, Missy T. Zal said, Darren, they're all panicking because the frequency fence is about to drop and we all see them for what they are, almost like the movie They Live. And if I can't see comments, guys, StreamYard's only showing me certain comments. David said, who's number 1? I am Kai said, years ago I watched a video and I couldn't. I am Kai said, some things never go away. Darren said, Zal, just watch Nike commercials. The fence has already dropped. Shannon said, you are number 6. MJ said, David, he's huge. Shannon said, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. Darren said, who's number 1? Out to lunch said, Shannon, make it happen. Number 2. Alex, I was talking to my mum today about Easter being possibly pagan. Long story, but I've been looking into it over the last few years as I know it's based around the full moon. Well, didn't Jesus die and go into the cave, get put in the cave for 3 days, and then he became alive again? Like the bunny thing and that, yeah, I think that's all, maybe. But, and Easter eggs, but the real reason for Easter. I am Kai said, I have no master. David said, I'm not a number, I'm a free man. We need information, you won't get it. Darren said, Alex is number 2. Xenotron said, Harry Vox has a video of bottom surgery. I'm scared and terrified for these people who undergo this mutilation. I really do feel sorry for the 90% who have ongoing problems. Exactly. Xenotron said, 1 is the loneliest number. I am Kai said, 2 expelled that led the capital takeover. Zal said, Easter, Ishtar. Yeah. Alex said, I feel like they've stolen the time and tried to change it. Alex said, does feel like being the prisoner these days. Deb said, magic show. If you watch the hands, do not notice something else going on. Darren said, yes, many religious holidays arranged to coincide with pagan events that help people convert to Christianity. EDD said, I'm in Alberta, Canada. Nothing happened here but BS media and corrupt YouTube channels spreading lies and fear-mongering. BS propaganda, waiting patiently for EBS confession videos. Only way to wake people up. Zal, who are you talking about? I am Kai said, Zane, it depends on what the line is for. Alex said, have I actually let the false widows windows stay, but this one was a beast. I'll send you the pic. Menacing Muskrat said, Alex, definitely a pagan holiday. All was changed under Emperor Constantine to keep the Christians happy, and his pagan wife happy too. Darren said, yes, Alex, but in prison it was more like a holiday camp. Oh, the chat just jumped. Deb said, don't forget to film you cooking for a laugh. Oh, yep, definitely. Gingerbread. David said, the village was a 15-minute city. Alex said, Sue said, Alex, do you have a channel? Wow, what topics do you cover? What will you talk about with the priest? Deb said, beef stroganoff for dinner tonight. Darren said, David, more than 15 minutes and the balloons bring you back. No, fine, but not everyone comes back. Deb said, yes, hope you're okay, Shannon. Shannon said, all turns out you can get blood out of a stone. I'm Kai, said Shannon, that's what I call determination. David said, gonna have to dash, got to get out of the village, don't tell number 2, but I built a raft. Susie said, new week, new duvet cover, right, Hev? Yeah, it's still the same one from last week, I think. The dolphin one. Shannon said, driving home now, so listening. Menacing Muskrat said, you have a soft heart, Shannon. David said, God bless you. I'll see you next time. See you, David. Darren said, especially when it's been thrown at someone, Shannon. MJ said, bye, David. Have a great weekend. Everyone's saying goodbye. Deb said, Shannon's all ears today. And Darren said, good luck, David. And Alex said, take care. See you soon. Shannon said, no, I haven't. Giant heart like Farlap. That's the problem. Jacinda boing, bong, a gong, boing. Susie said, Jacinda wants to make free speech illegal. Deb said, yes, Shannon has a big heart. Shannon said, moist with thunderstorms the other night, Deb. Ours is on and off today. Alex said, it's just the cats here at the moment, but I'd like to start doing lives to talk about all sorts. I want to ask his views on Easter being pagan. Zena said, most trannies grimace when they smile. It's so ugly. Susie said, so nice to be with you guys. It's a tough old world out there. What a week. Yep. I'm Kai said, my ball's always bouncing to the left and to the right, and everybody comes and comes again. That's part of the AC/DC song. Deb said, very good. Shannon has taken my thunder again. Darren said, Shannon moisture forms mold. Dealey said, I've noticed that too, Zena. It's jumped again. It's jumping all over the place. What the hell's going on now? Oh, my stomach's starting to rumble. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Susie said, I totally love you all. Thought I'd better say it in case turds hits the fan soon. MJ said, battery time. Out to lunch. Said, I am Kai, 6 months in solitary, or what a vacation. I am Kai said, I got fat then. Darren said, Kai, you can't break my mind. How can you break something that's already broken? Alex said, I think you have near enough broken every part of your body, but never your spirit. I am Kai. Xenotron said, oh, thanks, Susie. That's so sweet of you. I am Kai said, it was kind of nice. Lots of sleep. I am Kai said, Alex, true. Alex said, love you too, Susie. Xenotron said, I've become so fond of all you guys over the last few months. I know. Sherry said, you can buy as many coffees as you want, I thought. Yeah, you can, but they can. I think they're like, each one's $5. So like, I don't know. MJ said, oh, I love mushy. Out to lunch said, I'm Kai. Week and a day, no shower, no clothes. Best week I had. Deb said, yes, a beautiful community we've become. Dealey said, I call us all here family, definitely. MJ said, right, Deb. Xenotron's got some chickens and stuff in there, birds. I am Kai said, sink baths only. They'd pop my door for a wreck and shower, and I'd close it as hard as I could. Alex said, don't panic, Mr. Mainwaring. Darren said, some of us aren't beautiful, Deb, we're handsome. Out to lunch said, I'm Kai, yeah, sink toilet combo. Susie said, I feel like we're in the same times as depicted in the book of Acts. Right after Jesus rose, that early lunch was such a danger, but they were protected by the Holy Spirit. I am Kai said, 100 push-ups, then 20 a day till 800 at release. Deb said, beautiful soul we have we all. Darren said, one may be a lonely number, but it knows its identity and never inflates anything. Sherry said, I love you all too. I don't have many friends as I don't get out much anymore. People in this small town keep to themselves. Reminds me of one of those horror shows. Oh, God, love you, Sherry. I am Kai said, I look up all possible meanings for my name to live and die by the sword. Dealey said, same, Sherry. Yeah, I don't go out much either. Darren said, stupid boy. Alex said, this chat has been a godsend, and I believe we've all come here for a reason. You are like my extended family. I am Kai said, native is angry stone. Xenotron said, Darren, absolutely, but most things need a catalyst to expand. Darren said, Alex's family, lend us a tenner. Oh, I am Kai said, the chat continues at Bruce sees all after this. MJ said, well, cookies are my catalyst and brownies make my ass expand. Darren said, 2 is greedy and has exponential power. Deb said, I really enjoy having like-minded people to chat with. I don't get out other than shopping and doctors. Zena said, Sherry, your greatest friend lies within. It's a good thing that not many people are able to pollute you with their dramas. Definitely. Susie said, Easter was named for Ostra, which is pagan. The eggs and rabbit are fertility symbols, but Pascal comes from the I can't say that. Pekash, which is Jewish. Zena said, on three-stranded cord is difficult to break, a three-stranded cord. Deb said, it's time to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Jump around, jump up, get down. Darren said, Deb, you mean it's time to Trump? I am Kai said, Zena, I saw a thing today about how we are each three beings. Darren said, no, Alex, that reminds me of Dylan again. MJ said, Hev, can you be our Starbucks or Dunkin' coffee? Lol. Xenotron said, oh, Kai, send me a link. Deb said, how's the turkey going? He's obnoxious, that little thing. Absolutely. He's still running around like crazy and knocking on the front door, the back door, my window, looking out for the chickens, like standing guard, you know, and attacking them when he can. Alex is laughing. Sherry said, Xenotron, I've always been a loner. I'm an artist and write poetry, so I think you're right. Darren said, Duncan. D-Lee said, I've seen that too, Kai, but I haven't watched it. I am Kai said, Xena, don't know how. I am Kai said, I immediately thought body, mind, spirit. Xena said, Sherry, I'm the same. I'm not very inspiring. Better to keep to myself mostly. Menacing Muskrat said, it's starting to happen in Canada. Sherry said, I knew I was drawn to you. I'm an artist too. I'm Kai said, the triune being. Deb said, yeah, I'm Kai, mind, body, spirit. Xenotron said, it's okay, Kai. Do you have a title or keyword? I'm Kai said, Xena, I know you underestimate yourself. I'm Kai said, I don't. I'll find it though and write it down for you. And I'm starving hungry. I'm going to go in a minute. Deb's laughing with the chickens. Xenotron said, I've heard of physical perispirit and spirit. Alex said, cheeky turkey. MJ said, the turkey identifies as a chicken. I love it. He does. But when he's in there in the cage, right, and I go walk anywhere near the cage, he freaks out trying to get out, but won't come to the door and get out. I'm Kai said, your brain would melt knowing how many videos I sift every day. Easily over 1,000. Darren says, sex is binary, male and female, but gender is trinary, masculine, feminine, and neutral. And Xenotron said it might be perispirit. I don't know, but with that, I'm going to let you guys go because I'm starving and I need to go and eat something again. And I'll be back, if not tomorrow, which probably not, Monday, Easter Monday. Look out for me. And I'll be here, which is your Easter Sunday night, if you're in the UK or the US. Okay, guys, have a good one. Much love, and I'll see you soon. Like I'm going to die if I don't go and eat, really. Anyway, see you guys.
But all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago, I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright. And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago. But all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and where I'll go in life, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes, and ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. Back a year ago.